Do you constantly struggle with focus and motivation and just assume you're lazy? Millions of adults have undiagnosed ADHD without even knowing it. You might have spent years internalizing those struggles, feeling broken, or telling yourself that you're just not trying hard enough to get through a normal day. These perceived character flaws are simply the result of different neurological wiring. Recognizing these 10 hidden signs is the crucial first step to stopping the cycle of shame and finally learning how to operate your unique brain. Let's say you're genuinely excited about a project. You've thought about it for weeks, but when you finally sit down to start, your mind goes blank and you open and close the same document 3 times. This is task initiation failure. It happens because there's a literal neurological gap between wanting an action and executing it. To bypass this, shrink the task until your brain can't say no. Don't tell yourself to write the report. Just open the document and type a single sentence. Then there are days you can spend 6 hours reorganizing your bookshelf by color, but you can't reply to a 2-sentence email. The ADHD brain doesn't regulate attention smoothly. It either locks on completely or drifts away entirely. Instead of fighting that binary state to force a consistent daily output, use those intense hyperfocus windows for hard tasks when they naturally show up. And if you're chronically late, it rarely means you don't care. To an ADHD brain, 5 minutes and 5 hours feel exactly the same. This is time blindness, a genuine inability to register time passing. These behaviors look like inconsistency to the outside world. Really, they show a brain that initiates action and tracks reality in its own distinct way. The struggle doesn't stop when the workday ends. Some of the most disruptive symptoms happen entirely in your head, exactly when you're trying to rest. You crawl into bed exhausted, but suddenly your brain replays every awkward conversation you've had since 2011. It simply struggles to shut itself down. A physical brain dump helps externalize that noise. Writing down every worry and random idea gives your brain permission to stop holding on to everything so you can actually sleep. This illustrates emotional dysregulation. A minor criticism hits like a wrecking ball as the brain amplifies small stimuli into massive reactions. Naming the emotion out loud creates critical space between feeling and reaction, dialing the intensity back. Because the ADHD brain lacks standard internal dampeners, both thoughts and feelings hit with an uncontrolled, exhausting force. That internal chaos bleeds directly into how you work. Think about the color-coded planners, the detailed bullet journals, and productivity apps you've used for a week and then completely abandoned. You likely abandoned these systems because they were built on the shaky foundation of discipline and motivation. For an ADHD brain, motivation and discipline are often the most unreliable resources in your toolkit. This illustrates working memory difficulty. You might walk into a room and forget why, or lose a name 30 seconds after hearing it. Immediate, short-term information simply slips through the cracks before it can be stored. The only reliable fix is strict externalization. If a thought isn't written down or tied to a physical alarm, it simply doesn't exist. This brings us to the most painful contradiction of all, procrastinating on the things that genuinely matter to you. You care deeply about the deadline or the opportunity, yet you find yourself completely paralyzed. Your brain treats urgency differently. Until a situation escalates into an absolute crisis, the activation energy required to start just isn't there. You have to manufacture that urgency. Working alongside someone else, known as body doubling, or setting up strict external accountability gives your brain the necessary spark to act. Standard productivity advice actively harms people with ADHD because it demands the exact executive functions their brains inherently lack. Living for years with these symptoms creates a heavy, invisible psychological toll. These two battery icons show why you might feel completely exhausted by noon. An ADHD brain uses significantly more energy to process ordinary tasks because it has to constantly compensate for lower focus and impulse control. That constant drain leads to a profound sense of accumulated shame. It lives in the gap between knowing exactly what you are intellectually capable of and what you can actually execute. It's a years-long whisper in the back of your mind telling you, if you were really smart, you'd be able to do this. Exhaustion is the logical result of the immense effort required to run a neurotypical marathon with a neurodivergent brain. It is not a sign of inadequacy. If these signs resonate with you, talking to a professional gives you the right map for how your brain actually functions. In the meantime, you can make one tactical shift today. Stop planning your day by external clocks and start tracking your internal energy. Check in with yourself right now. On an honest scale of 0 to 4, where is your energy level? Match your next task to that specific number, not to what your calendar dictates. Trading rigid calendars for energy management is a structural choice to work with your brain's reality, rather than an admission of defeat. You are not lazy and you are not broken. You simply require a system built for your specific neurological wiring.